darlings, this is Mrs. Welch for the Chester-Andover Elementary School, and I have a classic story for you. It's called A Christmas Like Helen's, and it's written by Natalie Kinsey-Warnock. Now, if that name sounds familiar to you, she wrote the book Noah's Ark, and she is a Vermont author. To have a Christmas like Helen, you need to be born on a Vermont hill farm before cars or telephones or electricity, and be the youngest of 7 children. You'll have to have 4 clever brothers who make snow rollers and bobsleds, who sometimes hitch themselves to a sled and let you drive them like horses. And you must have real horses, work horses for sugaring and logging, plowing and mowing, and driving horses to pull the sleigh in winter and the buggy in summer for trips to town and to friends and 6 miles to church each Sunday. Those miles will fly by if your father can tell stories the way Helen's father did, of your grandfather's 6-week journey from Scotland, and of your other grandfather who went off to fight in the Civil War and came home a changed man. But at least he came home. Your mother will have stories of Scotland too, since she was born there. In the evening, she'll tell tales of castles and ruins and princes in hiding, of wailing bagpipes and stone cottages by the sea. To have a Christmas like Helen's, you must have a barn. It doesn't have to be big. A small barn will do nicely. Enough for a few jerseys and guernseys and an asher or 2. And I suppose the barn doesn't have to be built by your grandfather, hewn from trees cut on your farm, but that would be best, of course. The mow must be full of hay, enough to feed the cows and horses all winter, and the barn cats will hide their kittens there. You'll have to like animals. Deer that come to eat the scroglings from the orchard, bears in the wild raspberry patch, coyotes that howl at the moon, and the farm animals, cows, lambs, chickens, and pigs, and cats, especially a big black and white tomcat that lets you dress him up and push him around in a doll carriage. You'll hold your sister's hand going to the one-room schoolhouse that's a mile from home, and you'll walk there even on days when it's 40 degrees below zero. You'll have to not mind living in a place where winter lasts nearly 8 months. We know that, right? To have a Christmas like Helen, your family will have to keep the spirit of Christmas all year long. Your fathers and brothers will hay fields and cut wood for an injured neighbor. And when another neighbor's barn burns, you'll help him build a new barn, knowing that when your family needs help, your neighbors will do the same for you. Everyone will have skates, except you, but you'll slide on your boots and hold hands with your cousins to play Crack the Whip. To have a Christmas like Helen's, you'll have to have one Christmas when you're sick with scarlet fever. No one will be allowed in your room for weeks except your mother, and you'll lie alone, too sick to eat or read, and you won't even know until days later that the doctor didn't expect you to live. Your parents will give you a locket with their pictures inside, and your father will carry you out to see the candles on the tree, thinking it will be your last Christmas, but it won't. To have a Christmas like Helen's, you'll go to church on Christmas Eve in a hay-fulled pung under buffalo robes and wool blankets. The church will glow with a candle in every window. The minister will read the Christmas story of Mary and Joseph and the baby born in a stable, and you'll wonder, why couldn't they find room in the inn? Then you'll bundle back into coats and boots and mittens and scarves, with everyone calling Merry Christmas to everyone else. You'll pile back into the pung for the long ride home. It'll be colder now, and you'll snuggle closer to your sister. The horse's breath will rise like plumes of smoke. The harness bells will be ringing, and someone will be singing O Holy Night, while overhead the cold stars will be thick enough to scoop up with a spoon. You'll tumble into bed, but later in the middle of the night, your father will carry you out to the barn to see a foal being born. You'll snuggle up in the crook of his arm, the cat's rolling around your legs, and think, maybe it's not such a bad place to be born after all. Tomorrow, there'll be peppermint sticks and popcorn balls, toy trucks and sleds for your brothers, and dolls for your sisters. And in the last box, under the tree, will be a pair of skates just for you. But tonight, before the stockings and gifts under the tree, when you're still in the barn, tucked in the crook of your father's arm, you know everything you ever wanted or everything you will ever want is right there on the farm. And this is a note. When Helen grew up, she had 8 children and 32 grandchildren, and one of those grandchildren was Natalie Kinsey-Warnock. Our Christmases aren't exactly like Helen's, but we spend them together as a family, mother and father, sister and brother, aunts and uncles, and dozens of cousins. Helen lived her whole long life in the place she loved best, and I will too. And from me and my family to all of you, I wish you the peace and joy of the holiday season. This is Mrs. Welch for the Chester-Andover Elementary School, and I'll see you soon.